The movie begins with Maya, an Indian girl living in America, who narrates her story to us while jogging in her very baggy pants. Whenever life gets her down, she comes to this place to reminisce about her father, who died a long time ago. Since the day her father passed away, she hasn't laughed at all, to the point that she has forgotten how people laugh. And this is her mother, Jenny, who got a loan from the bank and opened a restaurant that no one frequents but her. Jenny has been the sole provider for the entire family since her husband's death. We see her here talking with the bank officials to grant her an extension to repay the loan. Otherwise, they will put handcuffs on her and shut down her restaurant. Later, while Maya is checking the mail, she finds an envelope from a marriage bureau, informing her that they have found a groom for her. Maya goes to talk to her mother, saying, "What's happening, Mom? Are you trying to force me into marriage? I'm sick of you all, and I'm going to leave the house and run away." Her mother replies, "It has nothing to do with me. Go to your grandmother. She's the one who wants to kick you out of the house. She doesn't like your situation and fears you'll become a spinster, my daughter." And this is her grandmother, Lajo, an old woman with one foot in this world and one in the grave, though it never seems that way. She has 3 dreams she wishes to fulfill. First, to marry Maya off to a very rich young man. Second, to annex New York into the state of Punjab. And third, for Maya's mother to die. All she does in her life is pray with her friends to the rhythm of music, which makes you think she's Shakira. She says, "I will sing you a very modern song." And as you can see, she unleashes her inner Shakira. And of course, due to the extreme sweetness of her voice, people couldn't stand to hear it anymore. After that, Maya goes to her 2 younger siblings, Shiv and Jia. Shiv loves basketball, but due to his disability, he can't play in the street with the other children. At that moment, their grandmother Lajo comes, hugs Shiv, and greets him good morning. Jia goes to greet her, but she ignores her, as she doesn't like her at all, and Jia feels extremely jealous of how her grandmother treats her brother Shiv. And this is Rohit, Maya's friend from school. He opened 3 restaurants, all of which failed, and he relies entirely on his father's money. Rohit is a young man whose only wish in life is to be in a relationship with a girl, but because of his kind heart and pure intentions, girls think he's an idiot. Nevertheless, his attempts to get into a relationship never stop. He goes to his female colleague at work to ask her out on a date, but his other colleague, who was standing with her, beats him to it. He gets into an elevator and, by chance, finds this lady and tries to hit on her. She tells him, "Don't even try. I'm a married woman." He replies, "So what's the problem? I only deal with married women anyway." She points to the man in front of him. Rohit says, "Forget about him, just give me your number." She tells him, "The man in front of you is my husband." At that moment, he gets caught in his own trap, and her husband hangs him in the elevator like a monkey. Afterwards, he meets Maya and tells her what happened. Later, he returns home to sleep next to his dog. Before Maya gets back home, a fight breaks out between her grandmother and her mother. The grandmother yells at Jia for upsetting Shiv, but Shiv asks her not to yell at her. Just then, Jenny comes and tells her, "Shame on you, you've made our lives hell." And as usual, Maya intervenes to break up the fight. Jenny takes her 2 children up to their room crying and says to them, "You know what? When I was little, I used to cry for trivial reasons just like you. And my mother would tell me that God will send us an angel to wipe away our tears and make us forget our worries. And I'm telling you not to worry. Let's all pray for God to send us the angel who will wipe our tears and solve our problems." At that moment, Maya was listening to them, so she sat down among them, and they all began to pray for the angel to appear and save them. And finally, the angel was on his way to them, a man who will solve their problems and fill their home with joy and happiness. This angel arrives and moves into the house across from them. He looks at them, notices their tears, and decides to become one of them. The next morning, Jia and Shiv were on the street watching the young men play basketball when Aman sat down between them. Shiv says to him, "How rude, man. Who are you?" He replies, "I'm Aman, and by the way, I live next to a very annoying lady. They say, 'That lady is our grandmother.'" He responds, "Really?" At that moment, their grandmother was singing to her god, her voice shaking the street as usual. Aman calls out to her, saying, "Come out, you terrifying grandma." She stops her prayers and comes out to him, saying, "Who are you, and what do you want? You made me interrupt my prayers." He says, "Were you praying to him or torturing him with your voice? For the love of your mother, madam, don't sim again. Look at the boys in the street. This one's eardrums were pierced yesterday. The lady says to him, who are you to make fun of our voices? He says, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Amon Mother, your new neighbor here. She tells him, get out of here or I'll pour water on you. At that moment, Maya comes out and says, what's the matter, Grandma? Trouble every day since the early morning? And just then, Amon sees her and falls in love with her at first sight. He looks at her, but she just looks at him strangely and goes back inside. But he forces her to come out again, and he brings the entire street out to watch him sing, transforming the whole street from silence to joy and laughter. At that moment, Jenny and Maya call for Shiv and Gia. Amon takes them and goes over, saying, hello, I'm Amon, your new neighbor here. Jenny says, of course we know your name, son. The whole street is talking about you. He says, all right, I've met you and Shiv and Gia. So what's your name, beautiful? She replies, what's it to you? He responds, your name is very beautiful. Then he says, listen, auntie, I want to marry your daughter. She replies, excuse me? He says, madam, what's it to you? I'm talking about Gia. Will you marry me, Gia? After much pleading, Gia agrees. He says, on this happy occasion, you will surely invite me for dinner. Jenny tells him, of course, son, you're welcome anytime. He says, we'll come at dinner time, then leaves them. Maya says to her mother, how could you invite such an obnoxious person to dinner? She replies, my daughter, I didn't invite him, he invited himself. And indeed, Maya goes to buy supplies for the dinner party. When she returns, Amon opens the door for her, saying, why are you late, my child? And takes the eggs from her and goes into the kitchen. She is surprised and follows him in to find her mother very happy with his presence in the kitchen. She pulls her aside and says, why do I feel like he owns the place? At that moment, she catches him examining the restaurant's bank accounts. He tells her, the accounts are not balanced at all. She says to him, you're such an obnoxious person. What gives you the right to pry into our private affairs? His mother comes and tells her, we're sorry, my child. Son, will you ever grow up? After that, they have dinner and spend a lovely evening. Before they leave, he says to her, why do I feel so close to you all? She replies, why do you treat us like this? Why are you so focused on us? Mind your own business. He says to her, what is your problem? And before she can speak, he continues, be completely quiet. What's the use of your prayers and your faith in God if you don't live the life he gave you happily? She asks him, and what do you know about my life? He answers, I don't know anything, but I have two eyes to see what's in front of me, right? She says, don't get too focused, philosopher. He says, wait, smile at life so it smiles back at you. Live for today and forget your worries because tomorrow may never come. Gul ho naho. He adds, anyway, I'll teach you how to laugh. Look, do this. Practice it and believe me, you will laugh. She tells him, you're crazy, and leaves him. She goes in to brush her teeth, remembers his words, and tries to laugh. Amon wakes up in the morning, and as he is leaving, his mother asks him, aren't you going to see Priya? He says, I was just on my way to meet her. She says, this Priya is an angel. He replies, you're right. Where did you find this picture? She says, I found it in the photo album. Aren't you afraid of meeting her? He says, what is there to be afraid of? Everything will be fine, and hugs her. Later, Maya goes out with her friend Sweetu, who is head over heels for this boy with disheveled hair and doesn't know how to talk to him. Maya tells her, what do you even like about him, you idiot? At that moment, Amon is behind them and says, what are you two talking about? Speak up a little, I can't hear a thing. Hello, I'm Amon. Maya asks him, why are you following me? He says, I'm following you? I came for my dear friend. What's your name? She says, Sweetu. He continues, I came for my dear friend Sweetu. Tell me, which boy do you like here? She points to a certain boy, and he tells her, wait a second. Then he calls out to the boy, hey, you. The boy asks, are you talking to me? Amon replies, go to hell. You've stolen my sweetheart from me. She says you're handsome and she's leaving me for you. Me? Getting left? Go to her, but I will never forget you. At that moment, the fool believes the prank and goes to introduce himself to her, saying, by the way, I work at a disco. I hope you and your mother visit me today. Then he leaves them. Amon laughs and says to her, see, the guy thinks you're her mother. And he says to Sweetu, what do you think? She says, you're amazing. Maya says, enough with the stupidity. Amon says to her, are you upset because Sweetu has a boyfriend and they'll be going out tonight and you don't? She says, no, I have a boyfriend. He says, liar. She says, I have my boyfriend Rohit. He says, that Rohit is just your friend, nothing more. She says, no, he's my boyfriend, but I don't like to talk about our relationship because of the evil eye and all that. He says, we'll see tonight. Afterwards, she goes to Rohit and tells him what happened. He says, "Over my dead body." She says, "You'll pretend to be my boyfriend, you idiot." He says, "The problem is I met a girl today and I'm supposed to go on a date with her tonight. For me? Would it please you to see that guy Aman gloating over me? That guy has become the bane of my existence. He knows I don't laugh and that I'm gloomy. He knows everything about me. Please come with me to crush his ego this one time." He says, "All right, I'll come." And indeed, he goes with her, and Sweetu goes with her new boyfriend. Aman asks Rohit, "Tell me, where did you and Maya meet?" He replies, "Our first meeting was in the park." Aman says, "I believe you two are in the master's program together." Rohit says, "Yes, but our first meeting was in the park. I had gone out with my dog, and she had gone out with her dog. My dog ran towards her dog, and I ran towards Maya. And that's how our love story began." Aman says, "But Maya doesn't have a dog." Rohit replies, "I gave her my dog then." Aman says, "But you only have one dog." Rohit answers, "No, I have many dogs at home, to the point that I sometimes feel like I'm a dog myself." At that moment, the girl Rohit had a date with shows up and says to him, "Are you cheating on me already?" He says, "No, I swear, Maya is like a sister to me." Aman intervenes, saying, "No, he is cheating on you, and I am a witness to it, and the dogs are witnesses too." So the girl scolded Rohit and left them. Aman says, "What is going on, Maya? I don't understand anything." She tells him, "Are you going to play dumb? You knew from the beginning that there was nothing between me and Rohit, so why did you ruin his relationship with his girlfriend?" He says, "I didn't ruin anyone's relationship. You two were the ones acting." Maya gets upset, and for the first time, she goes to drink alcohol and gets drunk with Rohit. Aman takes them to drive them home. On the way, Maya remembers her father and starts to cry, saying, "I miss my dad." Rohit goes to her and says, "Maya, don't cry. Although you look very beautiful when you cry, you are beautiful in every state, whether you are happy, sad, or angry." At that moment, Aman lets go of her hand and watches them as they laugh and joke together. And this is where the excitement begins. The next morning, Rohit and Aman are sleeping together, and Rohit's maid thinks they're gay. Then Aman says to Rohit, "You're a strange one, Rohit. You and Maya are so close. Why don't you get together?" He replies, "That's impossible. Maya and I are just like siblings, nothing more." After that, Aman goes to the church, greets Jenny, and meets Maya, saying to her, "What are you doing here? Are you spying on me? Get out of my face, girl." "Okay, come here. I'm just kidding with you. By the way, I discovered yesterday that there's a beautiful person inside you who knows how to laugh, joke, and love life. Why do you hide this woman inside of you? By the way, your father won't be happy as long as you're crying for him. He would be overjoyed if your laughter continued. Now, let go of my hand. Don't be so obnoxious. What will people say about us? Laugh now." Then he leaves her and walks away. And as if by magic, my friend, the whole family becomes extremely happy with Aman's presence among them. But the winds blow in directions the ships do not desire, as they receive very bad news. The bank will close the restaurant if Jenny doesn't pay the money within a week. And how will she pay when the restaurant is a failure? Aman tells her, "Of course it should be closed. The street has more than one restaurant, and each one of them offers different food than the other. Everyone is working except you. Look at the Chinese in front of you, for example. They excel in their food. We must improve the restaurant to be different. We will prepare Indian food." Maya says, "What is this nonsense, man?" He tells her, "Be completely quiet, girl. We will succeed, and you will see it with your own eyes after the change." And indeed, they start working on the place and change the restaurant's decor 180 degrees. Finally, they open the door, waiting for a single customer to arrive. No one comes, my friend. Everyone falls into despair. But suddenly, customers start coming in one after another, and the restaurant became insanely busy, to the point that customers couldn't find places to sit and were standing in queues. Jenny is overjoyed and hugs Aman, and from here, Maya realizes that their prayers have been answered, and that Aman is the angel God sent to bring them out of the darkness and illuminate their lives. Afterwards, she asks Aman, "Where did you come from, and how did you change our lives like this? And why are you doing all this with us anyway?" He replies, "I did all of this for you. Isn't that what you wanted to hear?" She says, "No." He says, "I saw your mother's eyes filled with sadness, despair, and a sense of being lost. I did all of this just for your mother's eyes. And look behind me, you'll find my mother crying." His mother laughs and leaves them. Aman takes off Maya's glasses and tells her, "By the way, your eyes are much more beautiful without glasses." At that moment, Maya's heart soars to the sky. The next day, she goes to Rohit without her glasses. He tells her, her, "What is this, beauty girl? You look so beautiful without glasses." "What? And you're laughing too? Is this magic or what?" She says, "Shut up completely. What's happening to me is strange. Do you know that feeling when someone enters your life, which was non-existent, and revives it, planting joy and happiness in it? What do you think? What could this be?" He says, "I wonder who this person is." She says, "None of your business," and hits him and leaves. And he, of course, thinks this person is him, so he becomes very happy and starts thinking about her too. Meanwhile, he calls Aman and tells him, "My friend, I want to tell you something. I love Maya." Aman says, "I'm on my way." He was with Priya at the time, the one who was with him in the wedding photo, my friend. He tells her, "I'll leave you now." She says, "Wait, where are you going? Our matter is more important." He says, "I'll meet you again. I love you. Bye," and leaves her. At the same time, Maya tells Sweetu, "I love Aman. I never expected to love him, but I did. I think about him day and night, you know? He's always on my mind." She tells her, "Okay, go and confess to him now." She says, "No, I'll get Rohit's opinion first." Aman tells Rohit, "What are you waiting for? Go and confess your love to Maya." He asks, "How do I confess to her, man?" He replies, "Call her and ask to meet her." At that moment, Maya calls Rohit and tells him, "I need to see you urgently." He says, "All right, I'll be waiting for you at the casino." He hangs up and tells Aman, "Finally, I'm going to confess my love to her." And indeed, he goes to the meeting and sets up a romantic atmosphere. Maya arrives there and tells him, "Your tie is beautiful." He says, "And your dress is beautiful too." Before he can speak, she says, "I love Aman." He is shocked and says, "Really? I was just about to tell you that I also love Aman. Oh my God, thank goodness. So why did you come to me now?" She says, "What do you think? Should I go and confess my love to him?" He says, "No, I mean, go, and quickly too. And by the way, take these flowers. May God be with you." And indeed, she is on her way to Aman. On the way, it starts to rain. Aman opens the door and tells her, "Thanks, I didn't order flowers. Come in, girl, I'm just kidding with you." He dries her hair and says, "I'll get you some food." She says, "No thank you." He says, "I don't have any food anyway. By the way, your dress is very beautiful." She says, "You really like it? I bought it today." "Aman, He interrupts her, "And then you're going to pass out or what? And after She says, "I'm leaving." He says, "Girl, I'm kidding. Sit down." At that moment, she spots his picture with Priya and asks him, "Who is this with you in the picture?" He replies, I forgot to tell you. This, madam, is Priya, my wife. I came here with my mother because of her. Priya and I are fighting, so she left me and came to America. And I came here to make up with her so we can get back together. I'm willing to do anything for her. I love her so much, and it's impossible for me to give her up, and we will definitely get back together very soon. What? Why are you crying? Don't worry, everything will be fine." At that moment, she gives the flowers to his uncle and leaves them, completely heartbroken. His mother asks him, "Do you love her?" He says, "Maya? No, I don't love her." She says, "I didn't even mention Maya's name." He says, "What do you want me to do? Do you want me to tell her the truth? To tell her that this is the first time I've loved a girl with all my heart? To tell her that with every beat my heart says her name? To tell her that the heart that loves her could stop at any moment because of its weakness? And that the woman she saw in the picture is just a doctor doing the impossible to add a few more days to my life on earth? Do you want me to get her attached to me when my days in this world are numbered?" She says, "Don't say that. You will live and you will be fine." He says, "Let's stop lying, Mom, and be realistic." She says, "I can hide my sadness, but will you be able to hide your love for Maya?" He replies, "It's no longer my love, but it has become the love of a third person, and that is Rohit. I must do the impossible to make Maya love him. My life's wish is to get them married to each other before I die." At that moment, all three of them are utterly heartbroken, my friend. The next day, Priya comes to Aman and he asks her, "Tell me without lying, how many days do I have left before I die?" She says, "I don't know yet." He says, "Just tell me and come here." He hugs her because he sees Maya standing there watching them. At that moment, Maya goes to return the dress and tells Rohit what happened. He tells her, "Don't be sad and don't you dare think you are alone. I am always by your side." Aman tries to act normal between them, but Maya is focused on him and unable to forget him. After that, Rohit's father finds a bride for his son, but she turns out to be a con artist who is just using him for his father's money. But Aman exposes her in front of him, reveals she's a con artist, and tells him, "Son, focus and stay with your lifelong friend, Maya." He says, Impossible. Aman says, "Man, listen to me. Maya is a very simple girl, and believe me, she will love you quickly." Rohit says, "Are you crazy? She loves you, so how can I go and tell her I love her?" Aman replies, "You won't say it. You will do what I tell you to do. A week at most, and you two will be engaged to each other. By the way, if I weren't married, I wouldn't have left her for you. Maya is the moon itself." And they begin on the first day. "Look, I wait for Maya here every day, and we enter the classroom together." "Very good, but today you won't walk in with her, and you won't talk to her either." Rohit asks, "Are you trying to bring us closer or push us apart, man?" He replies, "You have to be smart. The closer you get to a girl, the further she moves away from you. And the further you move away, the closer she gets. Here, wear this secret earpiece. I'll communicate with you through it." And indeed, Rohit goes to Maya with Aman on the line. Aman says, "Now go into the classroom." Maya calls out to him. Aman says, "Don't you dare answer her. Look up, right, left. Look at her angrily. Bravo, my boy. Now put your finger in your nose." "Just kidding, you disgusting person." On the second day, he tells him, "Don't sit next to her at all, and go and kiss the prettiest girl in the class." And on the third day, he tells him, "You will not go to college today at all." He comes to him in the evening and says, "Maya is going to call you now. Don't you dare answer." Rohit says, "Enough, man. No, I'm going to answer." Aman says, "No, you won't answer." He says, "No, I'll answer. Besides, she won't even call, since I've been ignoring her for the past few days." Aman says, "Right now she's picking up the phone. Now she's dialing your number, and there's the phone ringing." And indeed, he believes his words. And so do I. Rohit runs for the phone to answer, but Aman stops him. At that moment, the maid walks in on them again and finds them in the same compromising position. On the fourth day, he tells him, "You will go and tell her what we agreed on." And indeed, he goes to her, and she says, "Where have you been? I needed you these past few days." He says, "Enough. When you want to joke and laugh, you call for Rohit. And when you think about love, you love someone other than Rohit. I've reached my limit. What's between us is over. Believe me, between any girl and boy, love starts with friendship, then love, then friendship. We are missing the middle step. Take that step, and I will give you my life." Then he leaves her and walks away. At that moment, her feelings get mixed up, and she feels something new towards Rohit. On the fifth day, he tells her, "Good morning, my love," gives her a kiss and a gift, then leaves. The gift was a red dress and a love poem. And of course, the one who wrote the poem was Aman. On the sixth day, she meets him and thanks him for the gift. He begs her to go out with him in the evening to a dance practice. She agrees and leaves. And indeed, they meet in the evening and are very happy together. All thanks to Aman, who is watching them from afar and sees them together. And I don't want to describe this feeling to you, my friend, because if I described it, you would cry. What does it mean to go and give the only woman my heart has ever loved to someone else? I swear, if I could spend just a minute and a half with her and then die, I wouldn't leave her for anyone else. And if she married after my death, I would divorce her while I'm dead. Anyway, Rohit and Maya spend the most beautiful times together, and Aman is alone, singing my favorite song, Gone with the Wind, and every day his condition worsens from the day before. Maya sends a gift, a tie, to Rohit. He becomes very happy and goes to Aman, saying, "My friend, Maya has fallen in love with me, and it's all thanks to you, you genius. In 1 week, you made her love me." At that moment, Maya overhears them talking, is shocked, and leaves. Rohit follows her and stops her. She tells him, "I considered you a friend and more than a brother." And then the genius comes up with a plan to make me love you because he couldn't love me. Have you no mercy? She leaves them. At that moment, Aman takes out Rohit's diary and says to her, "Maya, I love you. I love you so much. And when I close my eyes, I see you. And when I wake up, I am overjoyed because I will see you. Even when you are far away, I feel you are by my side every minute, every second, all the time. My eyes search for my beloved Maya. Many people have been in love before us, but no one has lived or felt what I have felt because loving Maya is different from loving any other girl. It's impossible for me to forget you because I don't want to forget you. You are mine alone, and I will keep loving you until the last day of my life, and even after my death, I will not stop loving you." He adds, "My friend Rohit is the one who wrote these words for you." But Rohit, my friend, didn't write or do anything. Anyway, Aman leaves them. Rohit goes to him and says, "Where did you come up with that?" He says, "It was an act. I had to act to get through the situation." Afterwards, Rohit asks Maya out on a date, and she accepts. As she is leaving, Aman approaches her and undoes her hair, saying, "Your hair is more beautiful like this." And indeed, she arrives to find Rohit has arranged a romantic date. He confesses his love for her and asks her to marry him. At that moment, everyone is waiting for the answer, which reaches Aman via the phone. He hangs up and tells them she said yes. They are overjoyed, but Aman is utterly heartbroken, and the only one who feels his pain is his mother. Afterwards, Rohit brings his family to formally propose to Maya, and it's settled. Then, Lajo starts a problem with Ginny because of Gia again. Lajo says, "Treat me with respect. I am your husband's mother." She replies, "I won't consider you my husband's mother until you treat Gia the same way you treat Shiv, your son's son." She says, "Should I treat a girl you found on the street the same as I treat my son's son, my own flesh and blood? I hate this girl so much I want to kill her." At that moment, Gia goes to call Aman. He comes and tells her, "That's enough. You need to know the truth." Jenny says, "Please don't say it." He says, "No, enough. You must know. Your son made a mistake with a woman, and the result of that mistake was Gia. And your son's wife, whom you hate, kept this secret even after your son's death, and until now, she doesn't want to tell you or anyone else. Jenny, who has spent her whole life shouldering your responsibilities and healing your wounds while finding no one to heal her own. On the contrary, you are always stabbing her in the back." Afterwards, Jenny goes to the church, and Lajo follows her. She apologizes to her and hugs her, and Maya is with them. And finally, Lajo loves Gia just like Shiv and treats them the same. And who is to thank for that? Aman. Maya's engagement party begins, and Aman's health deteriorates. Aman dances at the party and, in the middle of it, collapses to the ground. They take him to the hospital, and the doctor says, "We will call Dr. Priya because she is the one monitoring your case." He tells them, "She won't answer. Today is her wedding anniversary." And indeed, they call her, but she doesn't answer. Meanwhile, Maya is in the same place as Priya. She goes up to her and greets her, saying, "I'm Maya, Aman's neighbor." She tells her, "You are as beautiful as Aman always tells me you are. Aman is always talking to me about you." Maya says, "This is Rohit, my fiancé. Is Aman here with you?" She says, "And what would Aman be doing with me here? I came here with my husband, Abhay." Maya is shocked and says, "You married someone other than Aman?" Her husband says, "Priya, did you marry someone else behind my back? Actually, Aman is the one who introduced us, and we got married a long time ago because of him. Aman is a very kind person and loves to see others happier than himself, and honestly, it's a shame for someone like him to die. Please stay close to him, because these are his last days." At that moment, Maya is shocked and remembers what Aman told her, and she knows that the words he said were not from Rohit's diary, but came from his own heart, for her. Then Rohit tells her, "Go to him." On her way, she keeps thinking about Aman's words and is utterly heartbroken. Meanwhile, Aman finds out what happened. He leaves the hospital and goes to Rohit saying, "I don't love Maya." Rohit says, "That's enough, Aman. Everything has been revealed. I will not stand between you two any longer." Aman says, "Listen, this love needs a heart, and my days are numbered, and my heart is going to stop. And because I truly love her, my life's wish before I die is to leave her with you." Afterwards, he goes to Maya and gets close to her. She puts her hand on his heart and says, "Do you love me this much? You want me to love and live even after you die. Why do you love me this much?" He says, "I don't love you. Believe me," and hugs her, and they are both completely devastated. After that, Rohit and Maya's wedding ceremony begins. While they are getting her ready, Aman approaches and hugs her. The moment of farewell arrives, my friend. The moment she will leave her family's home and go to her husband Rohit's house. She says goodbye to them and leaves with Rohit. They hug him, then they leave, and Aman is utterly heartbroken. And here it is, Aman's last night, my friend, the night of farewell. He has only a few hours left, and everyone is around him to say their goodbyes, including Rohit and Maya. Everyone says goodbye until only Maya and Rohit remain. Maya sits beside him and he pats her hand. She gets closer to him and he says to her, "What's this? You've gained weight after getting married." She laughs but can't bear to see him in this state, so she leaves the room. He then says to Rohit, "Take care of her. You married her in this life, but in the next life, I will marry her. Promise me." He says, "I promise." He says, "Now go, leave me, because I want to sleep." At that moment, he falls asleep and never wakes up again, my friend. And after 20 years have passed, Maya is telling the story to her sister, Jia. Rohit has grown old and his hair has turned white, and they have had a daughter. And here the film ends. In the end, don't forget to show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. By the way, there are exciting videos on the channel that you will like. And if you don't find your favorite movies, write the name of any film you love in a comment. And goodbye, my friend.